What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Project Ozone Lite. Oh yeah, guys, so last episode we were starting in Botania. We had set up our hydro flower over here, which, like I said, after about 3 Minecraft days turns into a dead bush. We can no longer do anything with it. Yeah, it's just enough to get you started with mana. And you can keep it going if you do the overgrowth seed and you turn this into like the enchanted soil, similar to what we did over here underneath our pure daisy, but it's really not that necessary because the amount of mana this thing generates is very, very slow. In this mod pack, we also have these things called blacker lotuses, which we can get from loot bags and then just generate mana that way, which is probably going to be the preferred method for us to generate mana in this mod pack. So I've been doing a little bit of crafting here off camera. You can see I made an endo flame and I made an orchid. The endo flame will take furnace burnable material and generate mana from that. It's not very fast, but it's faster than using the hydro flower, the lava flower, whatever. But I did not make that because I wanted to use it. I made that because it's just one of the quests. I also made the orchid over here because it's part of the quest. This can turn, I believe, regular smooth stone into ores, but it uses mana to do that. I don't think we're gonna be using that at all, since we'll have access to like void miners or the mining dimensions or, you know, things like that eventually. So not a lot of reason to use this thing. So we'll just put those away for now. I did craft them just because we needed those for the quest. Now we have this other one called the mana distribution. We should probably knock this one out as well. So that requires us to make a mana distributor. So this guy is a living rock plus mana steel. Have we had to make mana steel yet? I don't think we did. I don't think we have any in the system unless we got it from reward bags. We might have. So mana steel is made by taking iron. We don't need to make it, we already have it, but by taking iron, just dropping it into your mana pool. If you have aim. Yeah, so if it lands in the mana pool, it'll make mana steel. If it doesn't land in the mana pool, it just makes iron. All right, so we also need some more living rock here. So let's grab some more stone. Where is it? Yeah, we'll just grab some more stone, put that around our flower over here. That's on the enchanted soil. Like we talked about last time, this only takes 30 seconds to convert the material since it is on the enchanted soil. That is a great feature of that particular flower. So yeah, the mana distributor, I believe what this does is you can put mana pools on multiple sides and you have like your mana spreader shooting into that, and then it distributes the mana between the multiple mana pools. I think I've never really needed to use one of those before. So, and then we also need a spreader turntable. I don't know if I've ever used this before either. So that's living wood wrapped around a sticky piston. I think we should be able to do that, except we don't have the living wood. Let's make a piston real quick. We'll turn that into a sticky piston. All right, and then we need the living wood. Oops. So we'll just go ahead and grab some spruce here. Our stone is done. All right, got that. We'll put the spruce around here, get that cooking up for our next recipe. Cool. All right, so now we can take the living rock that we have and then make the other one, the mana distributor. Like so. Cool. All right, so there we go. All of these items for Botania, you should be able to look in the Lexica Botania in order to see what they do. I don't remember if we started with one in this particular mod pack, but in the Garden of Glass world type, you usually start with these mana flames. And I believe if you trade that as sapling, it'll give you a Lexica Botania. Let's see if that works. I right-clicked it. Yeah, we have a Lexica Botania in our inventory now. So this thing will tell you everything that you ever wanted to know about Botania. Like, it's a very, very well-documented mod. So when you first get in here, you get to the welcome. You have to go through these pages. Click this back button twice, and then you always open up to this one. So from here, this will tell you all about how to generate mana, how to use your mana, your functioning flowers, all the different items, and so on and so forth. So yeah, this is pretty cool. And again, you can search through the book and find all the information that you're looking for. It's very, very useful. All right, so our living wood is done here. Let's go ahead and make the other item, our spreader turntable. And there it is. And I don't really know what this does, but I think with the book, you can like shift right click on it. Let's Spreader, turntable, spin spreaders around. Yeah, if you shift right click on it with the Lexicon Botania, it opens up to the correct page for the item, and then you can read up all about it. So like when you shift right click on this thing, it tells you about the Pure Daisy and the Petal Apothecary. I think you can even do it on mana pools and the mana spreader. Yeah, so like all this stuff, very, very easy to use mod if you just use the book and you know how to look things up. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I don't think we're going to be using this at all. I've never had to use those before, and I've done a lot with Botania, so yeah, I really don't think it's one of those things we're going to need. Let's go ahead and do middle loot chest today. We'll get the middle loot chest off this one. This one says produces random ores by consuming mana and having stone placed around it. A lot of information can be obtained from the Lexicon Botania. I think that says that on pretty much all of these things, and we've seen how to do that. Okay, so let's do the burnable mana, middle loot chest. Cool. All right, so we got a few of those. Let's go and pop these open, see what we get. Spider charm. We get a zombie charm. We get Fluix block and Certus Quartz block. Okay, so not very good rewards this time, but we can still unlock more quest books, or I guess more quests to get more rewards in the book. Botanical resources is the next thing. So we've seen how to make mana steel, so we need to make a mana pearl, mana diamond. Let's go and do those real quick. Mana pearl. Whoop. We need a search for pearl, not mana. And a diamond. Yeah, as you guessed it, mana pearl comes from an ender pearl. Mana diamond comes from a diamond. Just drop those guys right into your mana pool and you get those items. We'll be seeing a lot of these in the near future. We're going to have to make Terrasteel, which requires the mana diamond, mana pearl, mana steel. So let's go to our quest book. Middle loot chest. This also gives us a Cord of a Heart. Okay. So next thing up, Alchemy Catalyst. The Alchemy Catalyst allows you to put something in the mana pool and it converts it into something else as long as this block is underneath it. So let's start making one of those. I can spell it right. I can't. Okay, so we need brewing stands, 2 of them. So that's blaze rods, mana pearl, gold, living rock. I think we should have everything in the system here to craft this item. Looks like it. Okay, so yeah, like I said, it just goes right underneath the mana pool. Is my magnet off? Let's turn this on. And when this is under the mana pool, you can tell it's there because it changes the bottom of the mana pool as well. So you can see how you got that symbol or whatever now. So yeah, you can tell when that's there just by having the thing under there. Even if you can't even see it, yeah, you can see there's the little design on the bottom of the mana pool. So Alchemy Catalyst, let's look at the uses for this. So this will tell you what you can do with it. So you can turn these flowers into the small versions. I'm not really sure what the petite version of these do, if it's the same thing, just smaller, or if they do something different. I honestly don't know. So we can turn popped coarse fruit back into a coarse flower. We can turn quartz into prismarine, prismarine into prismarine crystal. So just from another quartz, we can get both of those prismarine items. That's pretty cool. We can convert lilacs into rose bushes, and it looks like a lot of these different flowers into different types of flowers. So that's awesome. We can get a fern from grass. Granite into andesite. Looks like if we get that dead bush, we can convert that back into tall grass if we wanted to. Yeah, there's a lot of neat little things through here. Some of these are really good. So gas tier turns into an ender pearl. I wonder if an ender pearl will turn back into a gas tier. Interesting. Cactus into a slime ball if you needed that. Some wool recipes. Blaze rod into nether wart. Okay, so flint into gunpowder and vice versa. All right, so we can change all the different fishes into different things. All right, so I'm not seeing anything like that's standing out as something that we absolutely need right at this point in time. Sometimes there is. Sometimes we'll get to a point it's like, how do I get an item? And then in the JEI, it'll be like, oh, Alchemy Catalyst. And then be glad that you have it. But for right now, I guess we'll put that away for the time being. When we need it, we'll come back for it. Okay, let's take a look at the next quest in our section here. So we've already claimed this. Maybe not, maybe, I don't know. I think we just claimed it. Okay, so Runic Altar, this is a thing that we absolutely need. I was looking at the different generating flowers. So we needed to make ourselves a munch dew, for instance. This flower generates mana from eating leaves on a tree. But like this flower requires us to have a rune of gluttony, which requires a runic altar. The Rosa Arcana also requires the runes. I think the Thermal Lily did as well. Yep, we need to make those three, and the Gore Moralis, which also requires these runes. Yeah, so we pretty much have to make the runic altar in order to continue on through our quests here. So let's go ahead and do that. So it just wants us to make the runic altar. And that is made with a mana diamond or a mana pearl surrounded by living rock. I don't know if we have 5 living rock, and we don't. So again, we'll just go ahead and grab some stone, and we will throw it around this guy over here. I really should go through the recipes and look at like our different runes. I haven't done this yet, but like rune of water, for instance, is that used in a lot of recipes? Are we gonna need a bunch of these later on down the road? Doesn't really look like a rune of spring. Does that go into a bunch of recipes? So knowing if it goes into a bunch of recipes or not is going to be like the determining factor here of how much we automate our Botania. If we have to make like, you know, hundreds of runes of fire, for instance, we're definitely going to want this stuff automated. But I'm not seeing anything here that looks like we have to make a stupid amount of these things. We do have to make them for some of these recipes. But like, for instance, Project Ozone 2 that I played before required a lot of these runes for like the extreme crafting. So it doesn't look like it's going to be used that much in this mod pack. So I think we're going to just do some of these by hand. We might set up an automated thing to do the living rock and the living wood at some point. But for right now, we haven't needed to use a whole lot of it. So I think we're going to hold off. Anyway, runic altar. We'll go back to this thing here and we'll do the mana pearl recipe. I don't know why the pearl did not go in there. Probably because we don't have a pearl. All right, let's do the diamond because we have that. All right, so there's our runic altar. Quest complete. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Back to this thing. Middle loot chest. All right, so that unlocks the runes, unlocks the Elven Gateway, and unlocks Terrasteel. Now, in order to do the Elven Gateway portal, this is how we get things like the Dragon Stone and upgrading our mana spreaders to the higher level. We do need 1 piece of Terrasteel before we can even do any of that. So this is probably going to be the next stop for us. This wants us to make 4 Terrasteel. Now, each piece of Terrasteel, when we get to that point, does use up a half of a mana pool's worth of mana. So yeah, we're going to have to generate a lot of mana here or get ourselves a lot of the blacker lotuses. And that's probably what we're going to end up doing, is using the blacker lotuses. Let's take a look at the runes of elements. This wants us to make water, fire, earth, air, and the mana ones. So these involve a lot of crafting. Like the rune of water, I think, uses a fishing rod and other things. Rune of water. Let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, fishing rod, sugar cane, bone meal, mana steel, mana powder, all of those things. And in order to make this, you also have to get yourself another piece of living rock. Let's take a look at getting this thing going here. So we need to get ourselves, first of all, another mana spreader. Search down here. Mana spreader. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and make, oh, we're out of living wood again. Okay. Let's take care of that issue. So yeah, we're going to need another mana spreader. The mana spreader can pull mana from a mana pool. Not only can we generate mana and shoot the mana into the pool, but we can also have another one pointing away. As long as it's touching the pool, it can pull mana from here and shoot it into another object. And that other object that we're going to be shooting it into is going to be this runic altar. So yeah, we need more living wood to make another spreader so we can take the mana from the pool and put it into the runic altar there. This should be just about done any second now. There it goes. And done. Cool. All right, so now we can go ahead, do that. We'll grab a petal. How about a mystical gray one? Wait, what was the recipe? I thought, oh no, it requires 1 more living wood. Living wood. There it is. Cool. All right, so now that we have this, we can point this just like so. So since we pointed that way, it's already facing into the runic altar. If you want to be double sure which way it's facing, again, shift right click the block, shift right click where you want it. You can see it kind of points towards it. Yeah. So anyway, now this is going to be shooting mana into the runic altar when it requires it. It'll only require mana when we have a craft available. So let's do rune of water. So again, mana steel, mana powder. So we'll grab our 1 mana steel that we have here. We'll take something like gunpowder. Let's make a stack, just so we don't have to do this again. Magnet off. Every time you want to do one of these, magnet off. Right, I'm standing too close, so I'll probably pick up. Nope, I thought I was going to pick up some of the gunpowder down there. So we made all the mana powder that we needed. We only need 1 for this recipe. So we needed, what was it, a fishing rod, so we can do that. We needed sugarcane and bone meal. Do we have sugarcane? You can queue the items on there, or you can right click the items on there. And if you put the wrong item on there, you can shift right click to take the item off. I don't know. Do we have sugarcane? Is there a way for us to get sugarcane? Let's take a look. So we can get sugarcane through nature essence. We can get it through the phytogenic isolator, or I'm sorry, insulator, if we had a sugarcane to begin with. Otherwise, we have to get a hay bale, drop it in the mana pool, and then that gives us sugarcane. Okay, so we want wheat. 1 of those dropped into the mana pool. Cool. All right, so do we want to plant this first or just use it? Let's just use it. It's easy enough for us to do this. Okay, so you heard that sound, which means the recipe is correct. You can right click a living rock onto the altar, and then when that's done, you can see the progress bar on the right hand side, and it's done. We need to right click the altar with our wand, and that makes our rune of water. So we need to do the same step with all the other following recipes. They're all pretty much the same. Rune of mana is slightly different, as it requires 5 mana steel and 1 mana pearl, but it's all the same kind of things. You put the items on there, you watch the progress bar, you put the living rock, you right click, you're done, right? Let me go ahead and finish up the rest of these runes, and we'll be right back. So all those runes are now crafted up. We have 2 of each of them and just 1 of the rune of mana. This only does produce 1 at a time. These other ones are always 2. So yeah, we have that done. New quest is complete. Here it is. Middle loot chest, claim it. And that also gives us a quart of a heart, apparently. Let's go back here real quick. So we now have 4 of these loot chests. Let's go and pop these open and see what we get. So we get 9 nature cores. These are supposed to produce like animals nearby and wood and other plant life and stuff, but it is not breakable. So I'm not going to be placing these down. I don't want to put down a piece of bedrock, essentially. So resonant upgrade kits, those are good rewards. Spider charm and ectoplasm. Okay, you know, not the worst rewards in the world. All right, cool. So the next quest that we have to complete here is the Rune of the Seasons. So these require the elemental runes that we just made in part of the recipe. Other quests that we have to do is the Terrasteel. I think this might be the one we work on next. So in order to make Terrasteel, we have to make the terrestrial agglomeration plate, or how you say that. And we need 4 Terrasteel ingots and 2 sparks. So all of these are relatively easy to do. So let's get the plate going first. So that requires all of the different runes we just created, some lapis blocks, and a block of mana steel. All of these things, I believe we have available. We might even have lapis blocks already in the system, but I'm going to craft those up anyway. And there we go. There's our plate. Okay, so this is a multi-block structure. It does require 5 living rock and 4 lapis blocks. Do we? Oh, we do have those in blocks. Okay, I wasn't sure. And then this has to be somewhere nearby our mana pool for this to send the mana to. So let's set it up like... Oh, I should probably turn my magnet back on. We should probably set it up like right over here. This will be just fine. I believe it'll reach this distance. All right, so you do like a checkerboard of the living rock, and then one goes in the center, and then we need the lapis on the cardinal directions. That right there, plate. And then we also need to make 2 sparks. Sparks are like the fastest way to transfer mana in Botania. There's some things about it that we'll get into later, potentially, but yeah, for making Terrasteel, you want to use sparks. All right, so you can use any of these different petals, and since that is the one we have the most of, we'll use those to make our first 2 sparks out of. So you just right-click the spark on there, and it makes a little entity thing floating above it. Same thing for your mana pool, just click it right there, And now when this needs mana, it'll just pull mana from this connected mana pool over. So we want to make sure this has plenty of mana in it. Like I said, it has to be over half a mana pool. All right, so we'll just grab some of the blacker lotus that we have in the system. Oh, magnet off again. And yeah, that's pretty close to being full. All right, so in order to get Terrasteel done, we need to get ourselves a mana pearl, mana steel, and a mana diamond. All right, so there's our mana diamond. We'll just throw that into the pool. Maybe, maybe not. All right, so just click all of those on there and it'll start drawing mana from the mana pool. You can see the particles coming over here. Now, the more mana pools you have that can transfer mana, the faster this goes. So if you want to store up a lot of mana, you need a lot of mana pools. And if you put sparks on all those and put that near your plate here, you can make Terrasteel in like, you know, half a second or even faster, depending on how many mana pools you have nearby. But there we go. Now, I have tried making Terrasteel before in the past using mana spreaders, and you can do that, but probably you don't want to do that with the base tier. It takes longer than 5 minutes to transfer all the mana over, and by that time, the items you have on here will despawn. Yeah, and it's just not good. So anyway, there's our first little bit of Terrasteel. That's a thing that we need for the quest. We need a total of 4 of these, and then we need to take one of these apart to make our Elven Portal, which is going to allow us to progress even further into Botania. But for right now, I think it's a matter of trying to get more mana. As we saw before, we can get the blacker lotus out of the higher end loot bag, so we need a way to automatically open those. I think the way we're going to do that is by getting a mechanical user. We've been using these things a lot. We're just going to go ahead and set this down here somewhere, and right here should be fine. And we're going to point that into an interface. Now, I've done this before, automatically opening up loot bags and putting them into like storage drawers or whatever, and you can do that, but we have so much storage space, guys. I don't think it matters. I think we can just go ahead and dump that directly into our applied energistic system. So yeah, we'll set up a little automation down here. So what we want to do is we want to have the applied energistic system exporting the loot bags into our mechanical user, and we want the mechanical user set up to use item on block, activate, maybe use item on block, right click, random slot. I think that's going to be fine. So we need an export bus. We don't have one. Let's craft one up. All right, export bus just uses a piston and some of these other things. We just need to craft up a piston real quick. All right, there we go. Export bus. Perfect. So I'll stick an export bus right there. We're going to need our applied energistics wiring over here. So let's grab some of our line cabling. We'll just pull it off. It doesn't really matter. I guess we'll just do this one here. Something like that. Maybe we'll come over a little bit more. There we go. Let's grab a P2P. Craft one of these guys like we do. Awesome. We'll stick that right here. Oop. Probably help if I centered this a little bit and put it directly over like I'm intending to do. Failing at all my wiring today. All right, so we'll put our P2P right there. Let's get rid of this extra cable that we don't need anymore. Cool. All right, so we can get a ME dense cable. Again, we don't need the dense cable. I'm using the dense cable just so we can see how many channels are being used if we're looking at a specific part of the network. All right, and then we can just use ME glass cable for the rest of this. Let's craft up. Don't quite need 100. I mean, it's a fast craft. We want to make sure that, you know, we're only crafting what we need, really. So that's all we need to do. So that's providing the ME to our interface. The interface can, you know, send up to 7 other items. So we can go right into here just fine. We need to set the loot bag. So our top end one, I believe, is the legendary. So we want to make sure we don't open that. We put it here, and that should export the legendary loot bags right into this thing. Let's go ahead and set this to redstone on, so it won't do anything yet when this thing gets hooked up. So we do have to provide this a channel. We'll grab our memory card. All right, and this one looks unlinked. I don't know. At this point, I'm just kind of like randomly selecting them. I'm not doing it in any particular order. and we will just click that right there. All right, so those channels from that interface, or I'm sorry, from that ME controller block face is coming down here. So this is online. That shows 2 channels. These should be online. This should be pumping our loot bags into here. So if we do redstone always on, okay, it doesn't appear it's doing anything. Let's try activate item with block. I'm going to take one of those out. I'm going to turn this off just so we can see if this thing's doing anything. Use item, entity, generic click, place block, use item on block. Huh. So maybe this is not going to work. How else would we open these things? Or does it have to be on a chest? Now, normally, if we have a chest, right? We can take a chest, we can take this thing, and we can right click it on there, and all the items from there go into the chest. So how are we going to do that with the mechanical user? It doesn't have the option to sneak. I would have expected that it should just work with one of these options, but it doesn't appear to. So I guess the next thing, we can set it right next to a chest and see if we can get it going into the chest. Oh. Wow, did that just open the chest? Is that opening the chest? Is that what that's doing? Or is that just a glitch? No, I think that's the mechanical user. What is going on? This is acting weird. Let's break this thing and set it back down. Okay. So nothing's in there. Activate item. Use item. Okay, I'm gonna have to look. There might be something specific. There might be some way to open these things through the loot bags mod. We have, oh, there's a bag opener. I didn't even know there's a bag opener. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. I'll have to figure out how this thing works. Server's about to restart. Let me figure it out. We'll be right back. So practically the same setup we had before. No mechanical user this time. The bag opener. So this is a pretty cool block. I don't think I've seen this before. So you put in the loot bags here. So our export bus should export up here. It automatically opens it and then puts the loot into this area down below. So we're using an export, or I guess an item conduit on extract, always active with the maximum upgrades going right back into the interface here. And yeah, that completes it. So the only thing we need to do is just set the output on this guy. And in fact, we might even make ourselves a redstone card. Yeah, we should probably make a redstone card so we can just turn that thing on and off using a lever. I think that'll make things a lot simpler for us here. So redstone card plus a lever right there. I think that'll work. Okay, so now we need to get ourselves the loot bag. So legendary loot bag, we'll put it right into this guy. So that should start exporting the loot bags into here, which should start opening them. Although, you know what? I don't think I've tried exporting the loot bags into this thing just yet. Does that need a redstone signal to start? Or does it need a redstone signal to not go? I'm actually pretty surprised that this thing doesn't appear to be doing anything. Does this really? Okay, so let's do this. Legendary. We'll grab a few of those. We'll grab a hopper. We'll just make sure that it isn't something silly that I'm doing here. It might be the case where we have to put these in manually. Well, no, a hopper works. Okay, so why does it not go into that side? Do we have to export into the hopper and then the hopper goes into here? We could try that. Whoa, there goes all those blocks. Okay, so we do know that that works from a hopper. Let's do it this way. So we'll do hopper with the export on it. And then I guess the lever can just lock the hopper and then that'll stop it, right? All right, so that should work just fine. We don't even need the redstone card in this configuration. So we'll do that. And there we go. So now you can see the loot bags are coming in there. You saw we got blacker lotuses. So yeah, this is how we're going to be able to collect our stuff. Now this will start going faster and faster as Applied Energistics realizes, hey, I can keep putting items in here. But we're going to be limited by the speed of this hopper, right? Yeah, unfortunately, but that's fine. We can make that go faster, I guess, if we had item conduit coming out of the hopper and going in here or something. I don't know. It's kind of unfortunate that the export bus didn't just export directly into this thing, but, you know, this is going to be working just fine. And that's still pretty quick, right? That's nothing. It's really nothing to complain about. All right, so the important thing is the blacker lotus. We have 32 of those now. Yeah, I think we're just gonna let this thing run all the time. I don't think there's a reason to turn it off. Whoops, one too many. So yeah, now that we have all these blacker lotuses, we should be able to make the rest of our Terrasteel and continue on. Yeah, that's working really well. You can see I have nearly a stack of the blacker lotuses on me. We have 26 more in the ME system. I think it might have went through a good portion of the loot bags. Yeah, we've already gone through like half of what we had stored up. So we'll be able to get a few more of those going on. But that is the 4 Terrasteel that we needed for that quest. And what was the final item that we needed here? Terrasteel complete, that's complete. It doesn't show that we have the sparks complete for some reason. Incomplete on the spark. So why is that? I don't know. So I think we can shift right click the spark with the wand to get those in our inventory. There we go. So that should complete the quest now, maybe? There it is. Okay. Quest complete. Yeah, that's odd. That's odd that it didn't detect these before. Anyway, let's get the middle loot chest here. Let's pop this open, see what we get. And we get epic bacon. Aw, yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go and wrap the episode up here for today. Getting the auto loot bags being open is going to be fantastic. We will be getting a lot of loot out of those that we need, especially for making Botania really, really easy for us. Our mob farm down below is going to be constantly collecting loot bags from all the mobs while we're logged in. Those loot bags get up converted all the way to legendary. So yeah, we'll always be having a supply of those, which is going to be great. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.